Well, I don't think I'm forgetting anything, so here we go, I guess. No, it is working this time. Okay, good. Yeah, that's the correct link, right? Yep, it is. Cool. As always, I don't really have anything to present, so... Why no Factorio? Because I don't have Factorio. Like, if there's no other submissions, I'll take whatever shows up first. I don't really care what it is. It's just, if it's generic as hell, I'm gonna roast you. Well, like, it being generic doesn't mean I'm gonna roast you for it. If it's JDEC or, like, XMP, I'm gonna roast you for it. What do you mean, how do I submit? Like, this is the 11th episode. The instructions haven't changed since episode 1. Can I OC my RAM on using MSI memory try it? It doesn't really, like, memory try it isn't very good. So it's kind of, like, yeah, you can use it, but, like, it's not really gonna get you anywhere. What's the lowest you've seen TRCD on DDR5? Samsung can do, like, 32, 33 at 6,000. Have the... Man, reading instructions must be so hard. Like, really, really hard. Like... Like, they apparently just don't teach people how to read anymore. Like, this is just not a thing. Just, you know, basic reading skills. I don't know why motherboards come with manuals. It's not like anybody's able to read the manual anyway. Because, what do you mean mem tweak it on the right? You have CPU-Z and CPU-Z. Like, it's not my fault for you not like... What is this? This is i9. Use a different version of Zen mem tweak it, or use like ASRock timing configurator, or like a utility that reads out memory timings, damn it. Like, I'm not, like, I just, that's, like, like how do you function as an overclocker if you can't even check your timings in the OS? Like anyway, so we have a Crosshair 6 Hero, 3733 generic B-die timings. Well, yeah, see this person knows how to read instructions, and they know how to set their timings, probably because they know how to read instructions. 14, 8, 13, 13, 28. This is really... Oh, it's at 1.55 volts. Okay, so that makes sense. 28, 40. And so the TRC is not real. Also, you could push at 1.55 volts, you can probably run less TRAS and lower TRC than 40. Like, you might be able to run TRAS like 20... You might be able to run it at like 23 and TRC at 36. Maybe even lower. Anyway, then 4.416, good. 4.8. You could potentially, like, if you want to push it further, WTRs could go a bit lower, but there's not really much point doing that. TWR10, TRFC 260, 22, 14, 8, 8, yep. And this is dual rank, and 4.466. Yeah, all good. And another Zen timings, 7800X3D this time. Oh, with my easy timings. Oh no, it also has the FCLK thing. That doesn't work anymore. That was like a bug in a really old AG in the AGESA that I made that video with. There's a bug where setting the FCLK to 2033 at DDR5 6000 would bump the memory speed, which meant you'd get like a performance boost. That doesn't work on newer AGSAs. So on newer AGSAs, you either want to run FCLK at 2000 or at like 2133 or higher. Actually, even 2100 is fine. Anyway, so we got 6000, 30, 38, 38, 50, 88, 48, 20, 416, 48, 500, 410, 28, 12, 16, 46. Wait, this is dual rank. That's interesting that you're able to run 6666. Because usually, in my experience, it ends up being like 6688. Though I don't think I've tried 2x32 at 6000. I think I usually run it at like 6200 or 6400, so that might be part of that. Yeah, but the main thing I would change about this is just like set the FCLK to either like 2000 or above 2100. Because the 2033 is really suboptimal on newer AGSAs. That's like the one main issue with that video at this point is that like that doesn't work anymore. It's not like a huge performance loss, but it just doesn't work anymore. Got a question. I got a Carbon X670E, but I can return it and get an 870E for not much difference money-wise. Which X870E would be best for memory overclocking? I don't know. I haven't tested all of them. Hardware Unboxed did a video testing a bunch. Their results are... I mean, like... They're like the main issue I see with their results is that they're all over the place, and that makes me think that there's like a pretty like there seems to be like a PCB lottery with the motherboards. But if you're in 1-to-1 mode, it doesn't really matter. That's like the nice thing about 1-to-1 mode is you just don't have to worry about the motherboard very much at all. Whereas in 2-to-1 mode, the motherboard is very, very important. Oh, it's Gear 4. Oh my god, that like if those timings are real, that is so slow. How long does this take to load the desktop? Because you're like... Because if this isn't bugged out on the timing readouts, it, like, you, like... This is effectively like... Because normal... So every 8 cycles, you would have like 119 cycle gap. So your like bandwidth ratio would be like 1/100th of your memory speed. Steve is just not great at memocy. As far as I'm concerned, if your motherboard has 8,000 on the QVL and it doesn't work with Expo, your motherboard shouldn't have 8,000 on the QVL. Like, you can't put things on the QVL that don't work. Like, but anyway, so impressive that like 9200 is working. Impressive that you have Gear 4 working. And also, man, these timings are trash. Also, like, the other thing is, like, I actually talked to Steve a little bit about his memory testing, and especially if you're thinking about, like, how did all the ASRock boards do so badly? Well, he asked, like, he got help. I'm not gonna say from where, because, like, he didn't mention it in the video. But, yeah, like, I mean, like, I don't know why, like, his ASRock boards all did so badly, but I don't have any, like, the one ASRock 4-dimmer I do have kind of matches his result, but it's like a B650 board. So, you know, I would have figured with X870 they would have done something with the memory topology. And mine is like a really early B650 board. So, I don't know. And also, ASRock did have an issue where, like, they broke high voltage mode on X870. So, like, and that's the thing I asked about, and apparently that wasn't it. So, like, I don't know, like, what the issue is. Anyway, so got a Z390. Is this single rank or dual rank? Because that's, like, for dual rank, 4200 on Z390 is really high. For single rank, it's not really that impressive. Yeah, 14, 14, 14, 28, 1T, 3, 3. I don't think those are real. This is one thing that, like, I've been wondering, like, it's been bugging me about the Intel memory controller is, like, certain timings when you set them. Because the thing is, like, I've seen tests where it's like, oh, it looks like it kind of boosts performance, but the issue is, like, memory stress, like, memory performance measurements are a massive pain to do. Because any memory test that is very sensitive to memory performance is also sensitive to basically, like, the air currents in the room. So you end up with this issue of, like, it is really, really hard to prove if, you know, minor timing adjustments are actually faster. But as far as I know, 3312 doesn't hurt anything, so I'm not gonna, like, complain about it too much. TRFC 240, TREFI maxed out, TWR9, RTP6, TCKE8. That all looks good. And then tertiaries, we've got 6, 4, 12. So I'm gonna... Oh, this is single rank. Yeah, this is single rank. So, I mean, those are very tight timings. I wonder what voltage this is at. 1.68. Oh, that's really high. I'm guessing this is just a bench profile then. Okay, next one. Damn. So this one's impressive. We've got a 6400 CL26 at 1.63 VDD. That's crazy. Oh, it's like a really, really high bin kit. Yeah, those primaries are like insanely tight for 1.63. Like in my experience, this doesn't even post on like I don't think any of the kits that I have. Like I would just straight up not be able to boot this at this voltage. So that's impressive. Like those are some really good sticks. And then it's on a crosshair gene. Yeah, 2636. This is like timings for like 6200 or like 6000, but at 6400. So yeah, this is some really good memory. 66, 624, 416, 48, 385, 55, and yeah, single rank. 10 hours Carhu, 2 hours of Y Cruncher. Yep, looks good. Also, that's just crazy. You can run to a CL26. Oh, 1.63? Like, that is actually, that is insane to me. But it makes sense, because that's like what I've noticed is the main difference between Hynix kits is like primary timings for a given voltage at a given frequency. There's not like max frequency doesn't really change very much, but the timings that you can run for a given voltage, those are all over the place. So yeah, so that's a cool setup. Next submission. I copied it wrong, and I copied it wrong again. And it works. Intel setup? Yep. Got the ASRock Z790 ITX Lightning doing DDR5 8000, 3646, 3848, 84, 480, 130,000 refresh interval, 16, 12, 32, 834, 16, 8, 20, 16, 8, 64, 48. And TWR pre at like 55 and WRPDEN at 55. So yeah, this is really tight. Got the 2 hours of Y Cruncher, Test Mem 5 for 3 hours, Carhu for 3 hours, HCI for 400%. If you're only running HCI to 400%, I don't think it's really worth bothering with. It's like a good variety of tests, just not very long in any of them. But, I'll count it. Like, I'd consider this stable. Though, see, the reason I usually end up with a stress test where it's like 8 hours or like 12 hours in like one of them, it's because I literally like leave it running overnight. Because that's just convenient, right? Whereas when you do something like this, it's like every 3 hours you need to go launch a different test is just kind of annoying. Unless, I guess you could have a script to do it for you. But yeah, anyway, voltages, okay, 1.4 TX, 1.4 VDD2, 1.13 on VCCSA, and then 1.5 on the memory sticks. Neat. Unfortunately, I can't really, say anything about this because it's like a motherboard I've never used. Timings look good though, and like you did run like all of the stress tests. What's your favorite RAM kit at the moment? I don't have favorite RAM kits because I don't like RAM. Like, there's other overclockers who will like buy like so many memory kits and then like test them, and then there's me where like I avoid buying RAM as much as possible. I'll buy motherboards and I'll buy GPUs, and I am not buying RAM, and I'm also not binning CPUs. Actually, I did recently order a new memory kit because there's on UK Amazon there's a Patriot DDR5 8000 kit that's like 120 quid. So I want to see like is it any good? But yeah, and like I did consider like trying to ask for a review sample from Patriot, but the awkward thing with review samples is that when they inevitably don't work because it's rated for DDR5 8000, it leaves me in a really awkward situation of like I can't make any content with this like review sample that I got sent because it doesn't work. So, you know, um that so I decided to buy it because it's like, yeah, I don't have to like I don't want to deal with the whole like, oh, have you tried your i9? Yes, I've tried the i9, it doesn't work. Have you tried a different i9? Yes, I have, it still doesn't work. Have you tried an Apex? Yes, it doesn't work. Have you tried the other Apex? Yes, it also doesn't work. So yeah, anyway, here we have a phone picture from somebody who doesn't know about the Windows print screen shortcut of a 5800X on a Crosshair 7 Hero running 14, 14, 15, 14, 28, 44. Okay, why is this like a thing? Like this is the second screenshot today where the TRC doesn't really make sense because like if you're setting the TRC according to some like rule, the rule is generally that you just take your TRP, you add it to your TRAS, and that's your TRC. Which this doesn't follow because 14 plus 28 is 42, not 44. Now, ultimately, this doesn't really matter that much because all it effectively does is your TRAS is now 30 instead of 28. But like at that point, you could have just set your TRAS to 21 because that is like a valid way of dealing with like AM4 CPUs is you can set TRAS to 21 and then TRC and then just use TRC for stability tuning because TRAS like TRAS gets basically overridden by TRC. Anyway, TRDSNL at 4.4, TFAW 16, WTR is 4.8, 12 on TWR, TRFC 247, SCL is at 2.2. This is dual rank, and we've got 4.466. So yeah, that all looks good. RTP at 6. Voltages look reasonable. But yeah, like so like this is a good setup, but like I don't get why the TRC is just like 44 randomly instead of 42. Or like if your TRC is 44, why isn't your TRAS just set to like 21 or 30? Because 21 is like, okay, that's the register limit, and 30 would be like, okay, that adds up to 44. Best X870 board for memory overclocking? I don't know. I don't have all of the X870 boards. And I kind of suspect that there might be a PCB lottery going on with them to some extent. So anyway, next submission. I've got a 3700X with Micron 8 gigabit eDie, 16, 18, 14, 28, 58. That is... Right, yeah, eDie things. So your TRAS isn't real in this situation. Like, you're, like, effectively, like, you could literally set that TRAS to 21 and it won't, like, it shouldn't affect your stability because your TRC is 58. So right now, your TRAS is like 58 minus, TRAS is like 58 minus 14, which is 44? Yeah, your TRAS is basically 44 right now. But yeah, so that's kind of that. Anyway, 4, 4, 16, 3, 6, 16, 570, 4, 4, 16, 8, 8. And then this is single rank, so we don't have to worry about the dual rank timings. 1900 FCLK, which, yeah, 3700X on a B550 board. Interesting that your clock drive strength is so high. And then, like, your other drive strength as well are not, like, stock. Anyway, let's do the next submission. Like, if this is stable, I'm not going to question your drive strength settings, but, yeah, just find it interesting. Supposedly, what is this? Weird A-die setup. Okay. Well, I'll be the judge of that. So apparently this is a dual rank setup, as you can see from... What? Oh. Well. Those are some cursed memory sticks. So, wait, this is DDR5? What? Oh, yeah, it is DDR5. So these are 8 gigabit memory chips. And they're not like... Yeah, these are 8 gigabit DDR5 chips. On a dual, like... That is surprising. Very, very surprising. These timings aren't great. I mean, like, your primaries are fine, but then, like, 4, 8, 20, okay, cool. 2, 13, 48. TRFC's tight. I guess they run hot, since they are technically dual rank, so I guess the TREFI actually makes sense. I'm confused, like, RDRD SCL at 5 is a bit weird. And then your dual rank timings are... Oh, so you've actually changed those. Okay. That is very interesting that like exists. 6200. Oh, this is Samsung. 30, 33, 33, 32, 80. Yeah, Samsung. 4, 4, 20, 6, 20, 48, 8, 8. Yeah. 4, 4, 4, 16, 16, 4, single rank, 65,000 refresh interval. You could probably run these timings at less voltage. In my experience, Samsung does not scale with VDD. Not that it matters. Like, this isn't going to harm the sticks or anything. But yeah. Yeah, the Samsung things. Yeah, this isn't going to get better. Like, it's Samsung. Like, the nice thing is you have, like, a low TRCD. But then, like, TRC's bad, TRFC's bad. That's kind of it, actually. I mean, yeah, the WTRs aren't quite as tight as Hynix, but... The TRFC doesn't even really matter that much because of refresh interval being maxed, but... Yep, Samsung things. How do you know if you're in 1-to-1 mode? Well, in Zen timings, if you're in 1-to-1 mode, you'll have 3100 MCLK and 3100 UCLK. Also, this is a 2166 FCLK, so that's kind of neat. Yeah, so there's really nothing I would change about this. This is just like for a Samsung setup, this is good, but it's a Samsung setup, so this is kind of where it stops. Um, anyway, next submission. $7950X3D on a B650 Gaming X. That is a wacky combination of motherboard and CPU. I mean, I don't see a problem with this. It's just like most people who buy a 7950X3D buy some overpriced $700 motherboard. So it's kind of interesting to see like a setup where it's like, oh, you actually just bought a motherboard that like matches your needs, I guess. 6200, 32, 36, 36, 36, 36, 72. Oh, right, that makes sense. 4A, 26, 16, 48, 466, 44. So this is gonna be a die. 12, 16, single rank, 65,000 refresh interval. So since you're at 6200, you should probably bump the FCLK to like 2066. Yeah, I would just straight up like set the FCLK to 2066. Like it's very, very unlikely that that isn't gonna work. And it's going to be a bit faster. It's not like a huge deal, but it is going to be a bit faster, and it shouldn't really affect the stability at all. So, yeah, that's like the one thing I would change about this. Because I'm assuming that like your 6200 over here is limit, like you tried 6400 and that doesn't work. So that's why you're at 6200. In which case, yeah, I'd bump the FCLK to 2066. What's the best program to test the stability of the Infinity Fabric? Y-Cruncher VT3 is good. But I'm not sure. Like, the thing with testing the Infinity Fabric is that, like, it's just a massive pain. Because if it's, like, very barely unstable, it just doesn't crash. Right? It just causes weird hitching issues. And 2133 FCLK makes some audio mess on YouTube. Yeah, then that's not stable. Isn't there a lowest clock record on Hardware Bot? Yes, there is. But I don't know what it is. Okay, next submission. $3,700X. Wait a minute. Didn't I already look at this? Yes, I did. Yeah, I literally already looked at this. Like, I'm sorry for not calling out submission names, but like it would add a lot of runtime to the video, me trying to deal with some people's usernames. So, yeah, like I've already looked at this. It's good. Moving on. Oh, that worked. Great. 7900X, 6000, 30, 38, 38, 38, 96. Oh, wait, what? Four eight. What? 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 Why does high TREFI reduce my read speed by a ton? It might not be stable? What are you measuring the read speed with? Anyway, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the TRFC and TREFI make sense. TWR doesn't. So it's just like, that just doesn't make sense. Why isn't it 48? WTRS at 5 and 28. This is a Hynix, isn't it? Yeah. It's like a 6000 CL30 kit. Like, there's Expo kits with lower TRAS out of the box than this. And also, like, lower TRC because of that. And then, like, read to read SCLs at 8, which is like, I don't think the motherboard even goes that high on auto normally. And then Proco DT60 is just weird for DDR5, but I don't know, maybe this motherboard requires really high Proco DT. I don't have one of these. But, and then like TFAW 28, where it's like, why is your TRDS at 4 if your TFAW is at 28? Like, this just isn't going to do anything. Like, you could have a TRDS of like 6 or even 7, and it would just functionally be the same. So yeah, I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense to me. This could just be tighter. Like, this just, yeah. Anyway, oh, the super chat doesn't actually have a submission. It's just a thank you message. Well, appreciated. It'll go towards buying a ASRock X870 Tai Chi. Hopefully soon. Light. I'm not, I'm not going to pay for all the extra RGB. Okay, next submission. Z690 Extreme. Oh, this is a wait, is this a DDR4 board? Oh yeah, this is DDR4. 4086, so you got some BCLK running on this? Interesting to see MSI Dragon Ball on what I'm pretty sure is an ASRock board. Anyway, 15, 15, 15, 30, 2T, single rank, oof. Yeah, like... Oh, I guess we're going to find out what CPU this is, and then I'm going to judge you. If this is anything more than an i5, I'm going to judge you so bad. What is this? An Intel 000. Okay, well, aren't you lucky? Wait, is this one of those laptop chips on a desktop adapter? Okay, that's less. How much do those cost? But like, and yeah, okay, that makes sense because as far as I know, that adapter like absolutely ruins DDR5 support. Still though, single rank DDR4 is not good from a performance perspective. Like it really is not good. So I would highly recommend you get some like 16 gig BDI DIMMs instead of this. I wouldn't go for 4x8. Though, well, 4x8 is probably going to get like, yeah, like 4x8 support on most motherboards is kind of terrible. For Z690, Z790. But if it runs at like 3600 or 3733, it's probably going to still be better than your DDR5 4000. I mean, DDR4 4000 setup here. But anyway, yeah, so 1552T, 11, 290, 448, 36, 16, 14, 65,000 refresh interval, 747. Yeah, so timings look good. And I would definitely consider getting a dual rank setup for this. I guess that's a good Cinebench score. I don't really, because this is like a 12th gen. No, this is a 14th gen laptop chips, or like 13th gen laptop chip. I should have looked at the clocks instead of the score. Oh, well. It's not running 5.8 for Cinebench. Because if it was running 5.8 for Cinebench, it would be scoring a lot higher, unless you have like hyperthreading turned off. Which, it doesn't look like that's the case. Cinebench doesn't scale with memory speed. Like, what's really funny is on AMD, on a lot of motherboards, if you turn on Expo, Cinebench gets worse because Expo bumps the SoC voltage a bunch. And that eats into the CPU's power budget, so you get less power budget for running Cinebench, and then Cinebench gets slower. So honestly, like when I see like benchmarks where somebody's like, "Oh, Cinebench without Expo is slower than Cinebench with Expo," I get really surprised when I see that because usually it gets worse when you turn on Expo. Anyway, let's grab the super chat submission because yeah, this is an interesting setup. Timings are good, and for peak performance, I would really look into running dual rank on this. Anyway, super chat submission. Let's see what it is. And it is a 5800X3D. Of course it is. At 3600, no less. Oh, ugh. Oh, okay. Well, oh. Let's fix this. Where's paint? Wait, how do I turn the grid off? Okay, like that. Cool. So, 1866 for all of these. Now, I'm not going 1900 because, like, 1900 often, like, causes issues, but 1866, like, very rarely doesn't work. I'm remembering that correctly. This is dual rank, so... Yeah, sure, let's just put that there. Like, it'll probably work at 4416, but, you know... Doesn't make that much of a difference, and I'd rather give you settings that are, like, basically guaranteed to work than... Yeah, you can leave that alone. We can leave that at 290. I don't see a problem with that. There. I would do that. So there's my reaction to these timings. Well, see you DIMM work with AM5. I don't know. Maybe. What about what? It's AM4. You can't change refresh interval. TCWL. The thing with TCWL is it like affects TRDWR on AM4, so I would just not worry about it. Like, yeah, you could set it to 12 or even 10 sometimes, but then, like, it's not, like, I don't see a point with actually messing with it for like, yeah, like, I just, not in the amount of time I want to spend on, like, dealing with this setup here. So these are, like, the main adjustments I would do in TCWL. It's, like, it doesn't matter that much. When will CU DIMMs come out? Probably when Arrow Lake launches. The Intel Gen 00 is a 13950X HX. Yeah, I eventually figured out it's some laptop chip. Okay, well, I think I'll just continue on from submissions after the super chat. You can repost your submission if you were before that super chat that I just did. Because yeah, like I don't have a way of like setting up two separate queues, I don't think. So yeah, what does VDD2, VDD-QTX, and VCCSA do? Well, I wish I knew what VDD-QTX does, but unfortunately I don't work at Intel, so I have no idea. It's like some kind of memory controller voltage, but like what exactly it's for, I have no idea. Wait, so where's the next submission? Oh, there we go. What? 8400 CL38. Definitely stable. Very, very trustworthy. Oh, this is E790i Lightning. So that actually might be stable. 38, 49, 28, 49, 34, 12, 6, 635, 65,000, 51, 12, 24, 16, 8, 22, 16. I'm surprised that your like right to read different group is so loose. Like I would have figured that could go lower than 58, even at 8400. Wait, is that an hour or is that a day? I've never used OCCT. No, that's an hour, isn't it? Because that would be seconds, which I don't know why you would even... Well, I guess if you crash in the first 30 seconds, it's nice to know how many seconds your stuff didn't survive. So yeah, that's an hour. 1.52 DRAM, 1.4 VDD QTX, 1.43 VDD2, 1.2... Oh wait, V-core loaded, 55 core, 48 ring, 30 millivolts on ring PLL, 13700K. Also, wait, FF4... Is that a... Wait. Who... Like, is that a team group part number? I mean, I know it's the RAM you used. I'm like, that doesn't look like a G-skill, though. But I'm also like, I can't... Is that... It's a team group? Yeah, okay. The 1.29 SA. Okay. That's kind of a... Well, yeah, I guess it... Like, SA is like all over... Like, really, all of the... Like, just... Like, the Intel voltages is just like... I actually just don't know what's going on with those. You tried even 1.56 what, like DRAM? It's a single hour past a 24-hour total. Cool. Anyway, let's take a look at the next submission. Because, like, yeah, like the high-speed Intel setups, like, I don't really know anything to say about them because it's just like, it never works for me, so. Anyway, we have a 17950X 3D on a extremely overpriced ITX motherboard because it has a chipset that it can't use. I never understood why Asus bothered with that board. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you make an ITX board with two chipsets when there physically isn't enough space for all the connectors that come off of the second chipset? Like, why? Anyway, this is... Oh, this is probably one of those... Wait, this is a team group kit, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's T-Create Expert. That explains the primaries. Couldn't boot 6400 1-to-1? Well, if you need 1.23 volts SoC at 6000, that's really not surprising, is it? Like, 1-to-1 mode is basically, can your CPU do UCLK 3200 at 1.3 SoC? And if the answer to that question is no, then you're not doing it. That's all there is to that. Anyway, 2200 FCLK, 4, 820, 6, 16, 48, 500, 44. You're going to want to tighten up your dual rank timings. Like the read to read, same DIMM, different DIMM. I'd like set both of those to 6 and then same DIMM, different DIMM to 8 down here for the write to write. And since this is in a ITX case and runs kind of hot, I wouldn't really touch the refresh interval. You could probably tighten TCL down from 38 to like 32 or 34. Yeah, 32 is almost... Wait, you're at 1.1 volts on the memory? Okay, you're not going to be tightening TCL. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, this is an interesting setup. Like the super low voltages, but so really the main adjustment I would do with this is like tighten up the tertiary timings for dual rank. So just read to read, same DIMM, different DIMM. And write to write, same DIMM, different DIMM. 6, 6, 8, 8. And I wouldn't really bother changing anything else about it. Also, I mean, you could try bumping it to 6200. Like, it depends. If you actually need 1.23 SoC at 6000, 6200 isn't going to work. But if you don't need 1.35 at 6000, then 6200 might work at what, like 1.25 SoC. Anyway, as far as I know, the nitro mode timings, these don't help stability. These are just like a performance booster. And actually, if anything, tightening them makes stability worse. So that's not like, yeah, like I don't... Like 6400 really is just like, is your UCLK capable of doing 3.2 gigahertz? And if the answer is no, which it very often is, then you're not doing 6400. 6800 setup, I would just not bother with this. Interesting that IDA's incredibly questionable benchmark prefers the 6800 setup. TSME, yeah, turning TSME on reduces performance. I'm not sure why it would improve stability, though. Oh, you cranked right, you have even more refresh interval in there. And you tightened your dual rank timings. Hmm. I'm kind of wondering about, like, dual rank in 2-to-1 mode. Why is your SoC voltage so high for this? That should not be necessary. Like, even in dual rank, like, that just shouldn't be necessary at all. The thing, like, the main issue is, like, I don't trust IDA to measure anything. Like, it's really not good as far as, like, measuring performance goes on Ryzen. Like, all of the read, write, copy speeds, like, they're just physically impossible. And the latency number in IDA is just, like, I think IDA's, the lowest latency architecture ever for IDA is, like, Phenom 2 with DDR2, not even DDR3. And I think it's with ganged memory controller configuration instead of unganged, which is, like, just, you would never actually want to run the memory controller like that for basically anything other than IDA. So yeah, that's why I've, like, stopped showing IDA in my memory overclocking videos, because this is a joke of a benchmark. Like, if it tells you that, like, freaking, you know, ancient DDR is, like, better than... And another issue with specifically the latency test is it basically keeps the CPU idle. So, like, one issue with it is, like, it won't necessarily enter the higher boost states on the CPU, which makes the latency number worse than it should be, just because the CPU isn't boosting properly. It really triggers power down mode a lot because it's so low load on the memory that, like, it's like, I think it sends a memory request every, like, 10 milliseconds or something. So the RAM actually just goes to sleep because there's just nothing happening during most of the latency test. Which is why, like, turning off power down mode makes IDA latency so much better, where, like, for a lot of other tests, it doesn't really make a difference. Because a lot of other tests don't, you know, idle the memory so much that it goes to sleep. This is like, yeah, like so interesting result. But my immediate reaction is, like, I would probably go 1-to-1 because I find it really hard to believe that 2-to-1 6800 would actually be better. Oh, there's, like, a bunch of super chat now. Oh no. Okay, well, let's move on to those. And we've got a 5700X with potato RAM. What is this? Is Corsair. Wait, what is this? Is this potato grade Corsair B-die? Is that what this is? Because that's what it looks like it is. Wait, is this the Corsair 1819 bin? Okay, I'm looking up this part number, man, because, like, there's like a specific Corsair bin that's, like, it was like a hard, like, it was consistently B-die for a while, but it was Like, it's not a good speed bin. Oh no, this is 1822. Unless they like changed it recently, because there was like an 1819 bin. Which was like always B-die, but the thing with like low bin Corsair B-die is that it kind of looks like this a lot of the time. This is at 1.4 volts, yeah, so I'm gonna go with this is low bin Corsair B-die. Yeah, Samsung B-die is like horrendously inconsistent, and so you sometimes get kits that do stuff like this, where it's like your primaries look like not B-die, and then you get to like TRC and my tab just crashed. Thanks, YouTube. Very cool. But yeah, so like you have like your primaries look terrible, and then you get to TRC and it's like, well, there's very few memory chips that actually do TRC 48 at like 3600. Then TRRDs are good, WTR is good, TWR good, TRFC is pretty low. Not super low, but pretty low, and that's rare. So it's like, yeah, that's B-die. And then you got 4.4, and it's like, yeah, so this is a low bid and Corsair B-die, isn't it? And 1822 B-die? Oh yeah, I mean, you can also get 3200, 16, 18 B-die. You can get B-die in basically all kinds of bins. It's just that when you do get it in the like other bins, it tends to kind of suck. Cause if you buy OEM Samsung B-die, it's terrible. It's absolutely horrendous. You would just never believe that that is actually Samsung B-die. And yeah, like you get B-die in like low end like 3618, 3216. Even below that, like, and that's where you get like the binning reject B-die kits, and binning reject B-die does stuff like this. And this isn't even the worst I've ever seen. This is honestly not that bad. It could be so much worse. Like I've seen B-die kits where like OEM Samsung B-die sticks that basically behave like C-die. The main difference being that you can run them at high voltage. Not that it does anything. It's just like C-die at high voltage just doesn't work, whereas bad B-die at high voltage works, but it's bad. So there's not really much point. Anyway, so that's what I'm assuming this is. In which case, yeah, there's not really much you can do about this. Because like I'm like this kind of looks to me like you tried to do something, but like it's 3618 Corsair single rank B-die, I'm assuming, and it's bad. And this looks like the kind of thing that it does when it's bad. That's slightly better FPS in game at 6800. Oh, neat. In that case, just stick with the 6800 setup. I find that kind of surprising though. I guess 6000 is really kind of low for the memory, isn't it? Anyway, next submission. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of super chats, so. Let's see. Got before and after. Why did you make it worse? Yeah. What? Oh, you need to manually set it to one-to-one mode. Yeah. I kind of figured you already had that set yourself. Because, like, the motherboard shouldn't default to that. Yeah, like, it shouldn't be defaulting to one-to-one mode. So, yeah, you need to go find the UCLK equals MCL. Like, you need to... You basically have to fix this, because this is bad. This is really bad. I am very confused as to how it started at 1900 then, if you didn't already manually set that. Because it's not supposed to do that. Like, above 3600, it's supposed to desync on its own. So hopefully that's all you need to know about that. And I'll move on to the next super chat. But that is super weird that it would default to 1900. Because, like, it really shouldn't do that. Oh, well, it's an ASUS motherboard. And when has ASUS ever cared about what they shouldn't do? Okay, got that working. So, next submission. The MC on my 7600 would boot 6000, but wouldn't be stable even with 1.3. Yep, that sounds like mine. Did BCLKOC for 102. Oh boy. Yep, this sounds a lot like my 7800X3D. Wait, I already had this zoomed in. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Well, your white cruncher passed, so that's good. 2 hours of Carhu is not enough Carhu. Then again, you haven't stopped it yet, so I'll take that. Wait, you're running really... Oh, yeah, okay, that's the voltage readouts being bugged out. Oh, this is dual rank. 6... Wait, again? How are you running that at... Interesting. Okay, so maybe I need to try that. Then again, you're also at 6100. Might be... Yeah, so I guess that might be it. Anyway, 30, 37, 37, 37, 32, 69, 4, 8, 20, 4, 16, 48. Yeah, that all looks good. TRFC 480, fine. 4, 128, cool. Yeah, all the timings look good. Yeah, that's like... I mean, you are on dual rank, so maybe the 6200 not working might be related to the motherboard, but I kind of doubt it. I think it probably is just UCLK again. Anyway, timings look good, so I guess we'll move on to the next submission. Which is a 7800X3D doing 6000, 28, 38, 38, 38, 58, 96. Oh, no. Wait, what? 384 TRFC. Oh, it's a gigabyte motherboard. You have the, like, high bandwidth mode thing, or low latency mode thing turned on, don't you? Yeah, that's gotta be it. Okay, so now I really need to do more testing on that right-to-right thing. Because that's been a thing that's been showing up on this stream today way too much. Like, how are people running it at 6? That doesn't work in my... I mean, well, this isn't 6, this is 7, but... That doesn't work in my experience. Then again, the one, like, 2 by 32 gig kit I have is not great, so that might have something to do with it. But yeah, these timings are not great. And wait. Oh, okay, we're just gonna do it the... Oh, come on, YouTube. Stop crashing. What the hell is your problem? Anyway, so I'm not going to bother with... Wait, TRAS 58? Okay, well, this is... The thing is, like, further changes to this is, like, not actually going to make it much faster. Because, like, the most important parts are already done, right? Like, you've got TRFC and TREFI. Technically, like, these two could go a bit lower, but, like, it's not... Like, that's not going to make a huge difference to performance. This could be lower. I don't think this actually does anything on Ryzen. These two could probably be lower as well. This could be lower. This could be lower. But these are all, like, timings that aren't, like, super important. So, like, you could experiment with, like... I mean... You could try, like, 4, 8... 4, 14. That's fine. 4. Primaries. I mean, like, TRP is probably going to do, like, what, 6,000? You're at 1.4. It'll probably do 32. It'll probably do 30, but, yeah, and then this will be, like, 90 instead of 96. TRD, oh, this is already really tight for that. These two probably should be able to do 6. But, like, I don't, like, this isn't, like, so you could do all of this. It's not going to make this massively faster. So I'm not sure I would even bother if, like, you're happy with the performance that you have right now. Like, even if you're unhappy, I don't think this is going to make enough of a difference to really be like, whoa, my system is so much faster now. And TRAS being TRP makes no sense. So that's really dumb because I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to pull up some documentation for that one. Because, like, if they said, like, TRAS being lower than TRCD, I'd say, yeah, you might have a point with that. But lower than TRP is just like you actually just don't know what TRP does, or you don't know what TRAS does. So, I'm gonna have to pull up like a DDR2 doc, aren't I? Because I don't think the DDR3 doc even bothers with defining TRAS much. Where's my data sheets folder? I think the DDR3 doc will have it. Let's see. TRAS. Okay, so it looks like the DDR3 dock is going to be enough. What? Why isn't it finding it? Are you stupid? Yes. Okay, there we go. So, you'll notice that it says activate to pre-charge command period, right? Whereas pre-charge is the, well, TRP is the pre-charge command period. So TRAS governs the delay from a activate command to a pre-charge command. And TRP governs the delay from a, actually, delay from a pre-charge command to another activate command. So basically, TRAS has pretty much absolutely nothing to do with TRP. It has kind of like you could, like technically you have the like activate to read right here, which is TRCD. I don't know why it keeps popping up these options. Like my freaking boomer operating system. Like it didn't used to, like I just want to highlight some damn text. Stop. I mean boomer browser, I guess. And boomer operating system. Anyway, like that's the kind of options my mom needs. It's like, oh, you highlighted some text. Do you want to copy it? But anyway, so like TRAS lower than TRP is like that. That actually they're not. They have no relationship to each other. Like TRAS happens before TRP. And TRAS doesn't even really happen. But like the point of TRAS is so that you don't try to close a row too quickly, right? Like you send an activate command, and then you like change your mind and you want to close it. And if you did it too quickly, you might like lose your data. And the funny thing is, I've never like with TRAS is like it's like TRAS is a weird timing, that I'm not entirely certain why it exists. But like it hasn't like TRAS lower than TRCD, you might have a point because it's like TRCD is like the minimum delay between an activate and a read command. And so it's like if you can't activate and then read, it doesn't really make sense that you could like send an activate then pre-charge, or like why would you even do that? But yeah, like TRP is just like that actually has nothing to do with TRAS. Like it happens after TRAS. It's completely independent. So yeah. Like that's kind of that. Actually, I wonder if there's a proper timing diagram for this. Activate to activate to power down, activate to this is in fact the most efficient way of searching these data sheets as far as I'm concerned. Oh, this is not going to work, is it? I mean, I guess this activate is used to open a row in a particular bank for subsequent access. The row remains open for accesses until a pre-charge is issued. Yeah, well, that didn't help. Pre-charge command is used to deactivate the open row in a particular bank or in all banks. The banks are available for subsequent row access at a specified time of TRP. Like, TRAS is just like I've honestly wondered why TRAS even exists. Now, to be fair, I have actually seen some situations where TRAS actually does cause issues, but it's so rare. And especially on Intel CPUs, you can set TRAS like super ridiculously low and it still keeps gaining performance. So yeah, the TRAS thing is like, this is just not a thing. And I managed to lose a bunch. Man, YouTube, you're really, really helping me today. I guess it might crash when I'm like scrolled too far up the chat or something stupid like that. Don't resend super chats. I'm gonna like try find them. I think I don't think I think my super chat queue is complete. Okay, yeah, I looked at this one. I think I covered this one. Yep, also did that one. Didn't I? Yep, did that one. Did that one too. Ooh, a 2-to-1 mode. That I didn't do. Okay, so I'm not as far behind as I thought I might be. Anyway, so 7600, 2133 FCLK. That's a bit... If I were you, I would experiment with trying 1900 FCLK for like synchronized UCLK FCLK. Because I don't think 2133 is high enough to like offset the penalty. Also, that's kind of crazy to see 64 gigs running at 7600. As far as timings go, 34, 44, 44, 34, 56, 90. So that's all good. 88832, cool. 416, 48, 468, cool. 88, 88. Man, again? Okay, I really need to check this. Because I could have sworn that, like, for me on dual rank setups, setting WR below read, like, straight up doesn't even post. Anyway, refresh interval 65,000. Yep. Reasonable memory voltages. Actually, reasonable all voltages. Right, phase shift. Oh, man, I don't... Where even is that option? Because I haven't found that in the BIOS yet. Oh, I think that's... I guess Gigabyte and, like, the other... Well, neat. So I'll look into that for my own dual rank setups. Because, like, for me, dual rank on Ryzen has not been great. But it kind of makes sense that, like, maybe the signals aren't properly aligned. And then the DFE 2-tap, 1-tap. Cool. Wait, 20,000% Karhu, 8,000 boots, but... Oh, it's work in progress. Well, good luck with that. Yeah, so that's impressive. Anyway, next super chat, because there was nothing and then there was a ton of them. So anyway, 7950X 6200. Oh no. No, especially at 6200, this should be 2066 FCLK, not 2033. 32, 39, 39, 36, 72, 48, 16, 616. This is an ASUS board. 48, 600, 50,000 refresh interval. Oh, 96 gigs. 6.6 on the SCLs. That really should work at 4.4, unless your memory controller, like, massively sucks. Is there anything else? No? Yeah, I wouldn't really change anything about this. And YouTube freaking crashed again. You've got to be kidding me. Like, I'm not even, like, scrolled way up in chat or anything now, and it just keeps crashing. Stupid freaking website. Yeah, I really, like, technically, like, you could probably run WTRS at 4 instead of 16. I mean, instead of 6, but this is, like, it's not, like, there's, like, small adjustments that could be made, but, like, they're not going to drastically make this faster, so, like, if this is stable, I would just keep using it. Sort of my thought process on this. Yeah, like, yeah. Like that's the thing is like I feel bad when I give especially when like super chats come in and I just give like yeah, I wouldn't change anything. Like I feel kind of bad about saying that, but like I legitimately don't see a much point in like changing anything about this. Like it's fine. Like sure, it's not the absolute tightest thing ever, but like if it works, like it's not going to get much faster than this unless you want to like drastically well, you're on a ProArt creator, so actually drastically changing anything about this is probably not like switching to 2-to-1 mode isn't going to get you anywhere because this is a 4 dimmer, and not a very good one at that. Anyway, so I guess next submission, and I copied it wrong. And we got DDR4 B die. What kind of B die? Samsung B die. Cannot lower timings or up the speed. You're on an X470 board. Why are your drive strengths all set to 20? Also, why is your RTT nom disabled? Like, usually this would be RZQ divided by 7. RZQ3 and RZQ1. So these two are like normal, but disabled for nominal is weird. I mean, like this motherboard might require that. I don't know, but the drive strengths are kind of those are just weird. Like usually it would be like 24, this maybe at 20 and then 24 24 again. Fifteen 35 doesn't boot. Oh, you have gear down mode disabled. Oh, well, I would well, you're also a 2T. The thing is, like, I don't, like, with... Like, SOC voltage, you probably have enough. Especially for something like 3666. I don't see anything wrong with the timings that would, like, stop you from posting. So this, to me, just kind of looks like the motherboard is just... Like, evidently whatever's going on with you, like either the board sucks or your resistances are just wrong. But like I don't know what the correct values for them are. Cuz yeah, I don't really like yeah, like this board should be kind of similar to the B450 Tomahawk, I think, the MATX, but like I have one of those and I mean, I don't think I got it to 3733, but like 3666 wasn't an issue, but I don't remember what the resistances for it were. Because like at the time I didn't even really have to change them. X417 Gaming Pro ended in 3600 1414. Yeah, like I think there's just something out of whack with the resistances on this. But I don't know, like I don't think these are auto settings, so I would honestly maybe even just try what auto does and see, like, because like evidently whatever this is isn't working, so I don't know. Anyway, 1T without gear down mode is impossible. Yeah. I would try like gear down mode on, and see if that makes things any better. Because especially with like, well, I mean, you're on a 5700 X3D, so it kind of doesn't matter that much. But generally with Ryzen priority, like with AM4, the priority is getting the FCLK as high as possible. Anyway, next submission. A 5800 X3D on a B550 Aorus Elite V2. Man, here I was really worried that this would be stuck at 3600 because this board kind of sucks. Okay, so we got 3800, 16, reasonable voltages, yeah, so that makes sense. 15, 15, 30, 45, 44, 16, 410, 12, 288, 44, 16. Yeah, makes sense. 6, 8, 2, 4, 4, 6, 6. Yeah, looks good. I honestly, like, if this is stable and working for you, I would not change anything about it. Because, like your, like, TRRDs are minimized. WTRS, I mean, WTRL, you might be able to run at, like, 8 instead of 10. But, like, that's just, you know, like, this is not really going to make much of a difference at this point. Also, you're on a 5800 X3D, so, like, it's not like the memory makes that much of a difference in general. Yeah, like, I would not, I mean, you could maybe try turn TRAS and TRC down a bit. Like, at 1.45 volts, there's a decent chance you should be able to run, like, TRC 40, so, like, TRC 25, I mean, TRC 40, so TRAS 25. But other than that, like, even that's, like, not going to make a huge difference, but that's probably going to make more difference than adjusting the WTRL at this point. So yeah, this looks good. I really don't see any reason to change much about this. Because, like, your other option is, like, oh, if you want to knock down the cast latency, you're just going to have to raise the memory voltage a bunch. Same for TRCD and TRP. And, like, if you raise the memory voltage a bunch, like, WTRS might go, like, one tick down. But, yeah, it's really not going to get much better than this. So, that's that. Anyway, next super chat. What did I press? Okay, there we go. Oh, Z790 Dark Hero at 6800. So basically matching my expectations of a 4-DIMM Z790 motherboard. I'm assuming this is single rank. Oh, except the timings are horrendous. Oh, it's stock XMP. Do the paint thing. Well, I mean, it is a super chat. Okay. I'm not, like, it's an Intel system. I'm not gonna try to change the frequency because especially on a 4DIMM board. Like Asus probably says that, I think Asus advertises this board as like supporting DDR5 7800 or something. And I totally believe that, that definitely works. At the Asus HQ, it works. Outside Asus HQ, I don't think it works. Anyway, this is a really, really loose. Wait, what voltage is this at? It's kind of 1.35 on the memory. I mean, even at 1.35, like 46 TRCD is kind of ridiculous for 6800. Like, honestly, I would expect that to do 42. Actually, you're on an Asus board, so this can get fun. This is... what is this? 16 gig? No, 24. Okay. Okay, actually, you know what? That one can stay at 32. I mean 42. Why did it change? Oh, well, whatever. So yeah, this one can stay at 42. I mean, I'd probably just set it to like 44 and call it a day. Actually, wait, you're at 6800, so 10. 8. Man, I don't know what this one's supposed to be. I don't know, like 655, 65,000. Damn it. Oh, and now it's back to not being bold. Okay, what? There's like a shortcut that I'm hitting by accident that's like making it not bold anymore. Okay, that one's already 32, so that's fine. 6800, 14, 18, 12. And this could probably go even lower than that, to be honest, but I'm not sure. There. I would do this. And that should be a decent amount faster. Alternatively, if you wanted to try like 7200 on this, which I don't know, you might get lucky and it might just work. Or it won't. But if it does, like, if you want to try 7200, this would be like the only changes I would make to it. Right there. And maybe for 7200, bump the voltage to like 1.4. But at 6800, I would do this, and that would, like, I'm pretty sure that should just work. And it'll be quite a bit faster, mainly because your refresh interval, it's getting 10 times longer. Anyway, oh, and then we have some more, wait, what? Okay, I got through all of the, I've got through all of the super chats so far. We have one that says, I am lost, can you help make my AMD PC run smooth? No, I don't do that. Yeah, that's just like no, I am not dealing with that, and that's that. And then we have $2 with nothing. Cool. And $10 with also nothing. And it looks like my YouTube tab is dying again, so that's lovely. Oh, and it doesn't even want to reload. I love you, YouTube. Really, just amazing. Um, like, whose idea was it to make pressing reload, like F5, not reload the tab? Oh, and then it crashed, for real. Oh yeah, it hard crashed. Thanks, YouTube. Oh, you've got to be... Okay, well... Anyway, so that's all the super chats. So I guess we'll take some other submissions now. You know what what die the G-Skill 6000 CL28 kits are? Hynix A die if they're 16 gig and M die if they're 24 gig. I mean, I think there's a new revision of the 24 gigabit memory chip, but I don't know what it is. Well, why didn't that work? Okay, well that one just doesn't work. Yeah, you are a super chat, but there's nothing in the super chat. So like... Like, I have 3 empty super chats. Those are intentionally empty, right? Is it worth it to upgrade from a B650E-E to a Crosshair X870E for overclocking purposes? If by overclocking purposes you mean like benching competitively on hardware bot, sure. If you mean I want more gaming performance, no. Oh, and there's another super chat submission, so I guess we'll do that one. Trying to see if there's anything I can do to either tighten my 6000 timings or get better performance from 6200. Well, if 6200 worked, it would just be faster. Couldn't post your exact timings and voltages. I'm guessing it's due to your board being X8. That's not it. X67. Nope, that's definitely not it. But I do want to know, what SoC voltage did you try for 6400? Because I'm guessing if it wasn't like 1.3 volts, or would you buy between a 13700K, 12900K, 13700K? It just clocks higher. Went up to 1.3. Okay, yeah, so your UCLK just can't do it then. That's not a board thing. Anyway, well, you could try, but the thing is, well, like, you could try, like, 1.2... Your SoC for, like, 6000 is really high. So I'm thinking, like, if you want to run, like, 6200, you would probably need, like, 1.25 to 1.28 SoC voltage, and that should do 6200. And then... You might even be able to run 6200 with your current primary timings. And then this is, I'm going to guess this is A die. And if this is A die, you could like tighten TRFC a bit, and you could like lower TRP. And that's basically it. There's not really anything else that you can change about this. Though, actually... And the funny thing is, so when you go up to 6200, it might break FCLK 2200, but that doesn't matter. Like, 6200 with 2066 FCLK is faster than 6000 with 2200. Um, so yeah, like with Ryzen 7000, 9000, UCLK is more like MCLK is more important than basically everything else. Um, what's faster, 285K versus 9950X3D? I think there's like a decent chance that the 285K is going to be slower than a properly set up 14900K. Um, I don't know because they forgot to sample me again. Like, I find it really funny how like a lot of people at like Intel and AMD and like various manufacturers, like they have heard of me. Like, if I send them an email, they're like, "Oh yeah, we know you," and then it's like, "Yeah, but why don't I get anything?" And it's like, "Cause," uh. So, but like I think Arrow Lake looks. I think Arrow Lake is going to be Intel's Zen 1. Is what I think it's going to be. Because we have a whole bunch of like Intel is finally doing chiplets. They have like they have the die, like the base tile for everything. DLVR. So there's like a bunch of cool technologies, and I don't think the CPU is actually going to be very fast. Um, they know you. I don't think so. Like the issue is like I'm just like not on any of the like product review programs on the regular ones. Like there's like standard like as far as I know there's like a like there's like the standard sampling system that like people get onto somehow and I like managed to not get on it any ever. And then it's like, yeah. Um and then I don't get sampled. Um Because, like, I got sampled for 11th gen, and 11th gen was a massive flop. Um, and the funny thing is, like, I was told I'm going to get a motherboard, but I'm not going to have a CPU for the board, which is just amazing. Like, truly. Oh, well. I don't, like, the thing is, I don't even do CPU performance testing. So, like, with me, it's like, if the CPU kind of sucks, I'm just gonna, like, it's not even gonna be like, I'm gonna have a video showing how it gets wrecked at gaming or whatever. Because, like, I don't do that kind of testing anyway. Like, where have you ever, like, when have you ever seen gaming benchmarks on my channel? Never, because I don't do them. Because, like, I get annoyed when my synthetic benchmark run to run varies by 1%. Imagine what I, like, trying to bench games that, like, oh, you're on, like, the wrong driver version, or, like, the settings don't just, no, I'm not dealing with it. Anyway, so this is a random submission I grabbed. We've got a 7800X3D with a good memory controller running 6400 at 1.26. This is dual rank. Wait, is this 4x16? No, it's 2x32. Okay, good. Good. Anyway, so, I mean, primaries look fine. Yeah, I don't see anything I would change about the primaries or secondaries because we got like 4, 6, 16, 4, 20. The 20 is a bit weird. That honest, like that could be 16. Not like it's gonna make a huge difference, but that could definitely be 16. TRFC 50, cool. SCL 515, fine. I mean, the thing is, like, I personally, I would probably want to see this both at like 4.4 or like 5.4, but again, I kind of suspect that WRWR SCL like doesn't do anything on Ryzen, which is why you can set it to 1. TRDWR 18, like it could be 16. RTP can be 16. There's no reason RTP should be 24. So that I would definitely change, like RTP 16 or even 12. Yeah, at 6400 that could easily be 12. And then for same DIMM, different DIMM, you've got 7A and 11A. And well, I would change this to 6 and 8. Yeah. Read to read 6, write to write 8, and that's it. That's all I would do with that. Anyway, there's another super chat submission, so I'll grab that. So we've got a 5600, and this is, wait, what? Micron Rev H, oof. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know anything about this. Computer just doesn't want to boot sometimes. Yeah, that's like an issue that you can run into with Ryzen. I don't really know of a fix for it, though. Because that's like I think that's just like a bug in the AGESA. So I don't think that's necessarily like, oh, there's like something wrong with your settings. That's just like the BIOS being stupid. These timings are terrible, but the thing is, like, I mean, I would definitely try to tighten the TRRDs. Like, if nothing else, I would try to tighten the TRRDs. Because for DDR4, and this is... Wait, okay, this is dual rank. Yeah, but for DDR4, like, TRDS8 and L11 and TFAL40, like, this is a disaster. This is really bad. So I would definitely try to get, like, TRDS to 4 and TRDL as low as it goes. I don't know where it'll bottom out, but just, like, try to get it as low as possible. Ideally 4, and then TFAL 16. And actually, I would honestly just start by setting TFAL to 16 and then trying to tune the TRDs. Because, yeah, there's no, like, TFAL is one of those timings where it's like, I honestly don't really know why it exists. Because, like, the point of TFAL is that it, like, delays an activate command if too many of them happen too quickly. But it's like, if you just set the delay between activate commands to be really long, like, they're never going to happen too quickly anyway. Right? Like, short activate delay for, like, act to act short for you is, like, 8 cycles. So if you do 4 of them in a row, that's, like, 32 cycles. So in that scenario, it'll delay the fifth one. Yeah, the 5th one will get delayed by another, actually, will it even get delayed? Because it's like 8, it's another 8 cycles. Something like that. So, and then TRDL, like, if you're doing long activate, like, slow activates, like, this just takes forever. That takes, like, 44 cycles to get through 4 of them. So, like, TFAL in that scenario doesn't do anything. So yeah, I would just, like, I would start by setting TFAL to 16 and then trying to tighten first TRDS and then TRDL, and just get them as low as possible. And since this is dual rank, I mean, SCLs, I would try to get them to 4.4. And then, like, same DIMM, different DIMM. I mean, yeah, like SD, DD, I would try to get these to both to, like, 4.4, 6.6. But unfortunately, I've never used Micron Rev H, so I just straight up do not know what it does. And the tab is dying again. Man, this is amazing. Oh my god, YouTube. Maybe I should just try maybe I should just use a different browser for this instead of Firefox. Like, maybe YouTube just hates Firefox. How do I change MCLK and UCLK? Oh no. There's like an option for it in your BIOS. That you have. Oh, that's this one, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know where ASUS hid the setting. I don't remember. It's like it'll be labeled like UCLK to MCLK. I think it might be in the main menu, like the first one you get to. Um yeah, I don't I don't know where ASUS put it. I don't remember what they call. Well, the name should be UCLK Div 1 mode because, why would you I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so because the BIOS has a search function, right? So just like type in UCLK space div 1 mode. And yeah, and then there's another setting for the FCLK so that you can set it to 1900. Which should be just infinity fabric frequency, and that should be in the main menu. Yeah, we'll set the FCLK to 1900, and then there's like a UCLK div 1 mode thing. So search for that. Because that controls your MCLK to UCLK. So like if you set FCLK to 1900 right now, your UCLK is still probably going to be 950 and performance is going to be terrible. So you need to fix that. Anyway, stream's now at 2 hours. So I think I'll close submissions. Because I don't really feel like doing much more than 2 hours of it. So I'll grab like a few more that have been like posted already, but no more new ones. My super chat didn't go. I am like 99% certain that I did do your super chat. Oh, your super chat was empty. Well, then post it now, because it was empty. Like, it's not that it didn't go, it's that you didn't send anything. At least not in the super chat. And like chat itself, like I can't read chat and timings at the same time. Okay? I'm very single threaded. This is basically maxing out my like simultaneous multi-threading capabilities. Trying to check timings and read chat like every so often. Anyway, what do we have? 7600X, 6000, 30, 38, 38. Oh no. Where is my sniping tool? Are you kidding me? There we go. Grab that. Where's paint? Okay, we'll leave the 8 alone. But I'm not leaving the 15 alone. Yeah, at 6000 that's just not okay. What is this? 32 gigs? Okay. So, we're going to go. It's very unlikely that you have 16 gigabit MDI, but like I'm not going to risk it. What is it, like 535, I think, is the register limit? single rank. Cool. Do this. I mean, other than that, you could also do, like, set that to 44 and then, like, I mean, honestly, you could probably set it to 30, but I have, like, there is one memory kit I've ran into where setting TRAS to 30 doesn't work. So, I'm gonna cover my chances, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, what's 38 plus 44? That's like 12 and 30 and 40, so that's 70, 82. Yo, Duts, the empty super chat guy, you can just post the submission again. Wait, are you trying to post the full link? Yeah, you can't do that. That's why the instructions are, like, weird. Like, you know. He forgot it? Yeah, you can't post full links. Like, YouTube blocks links, and I can't do anything about it. What? I'm not all E-core. I'm like, because, like, E-cores are about multi-threading, which I'm very much not. I'm like a Phenom 2 core. Oh, so he did eventually figure out how to send a link. I mean, send the part of the link that YouTube won't block. I pressed something. Okay, there we go. It worked. Oh, 6224. Damn. Well, we are fortunate that he figured out how to follow instructions, because you don't see 6200 CL24 very often. What voltage is this at? This is like 1.8 volts or something, isn't it? No, you don't have to send it twice. His internet... Well, I mean, I am on ultra low latency mode, but I don't know how well that's actually working, so... $1.75. Damn, that's lucky. Because I'm pretty sure I tried that, and I don't think I had much success with it on one of my kits. But, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, 6200, 24, 36, 36, 32, 30, 62, 4, 8, 20, 4, 14, 48, 372, 4, 1, 11, 16. This is slammed. This is absolutely slammed on the timings. Also, do you actually need 1.3 volts of SoC voltage? I mean, it's like, it's not going to hurt the CPU or it wouldn't be the, like, voltage limit, but, like, is it worth it, though? I mean, not really. Like, you know, if he lowered the voltage to, like, 1.65, it would just be CL26 instead. Actually, if he can do 6200 to 24, at 1.75, then it could probably do 26 at 1.6. Fully stable? At 1.75, it probably is. 1.5 VDD is fine. Yeah. And 9 hours of Karhu. Yeah, like, honestly, like, this is one of those setups where I think, like, I would guess this either works or it doesn't. Because my experience with, like, really high VDD is that past a certain point, the stability starts getting worse. So, and in my experience, that point is above 1.75. Like, if you go above 1.75, stability just starts falling off a cliff, and it doesn't recover. You can, like, keep raising the voltage, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I know that because I tried to do things like 7600 CL30, which requires 1.75, so it works. And then if you try to go any higher than that, it doesn't. Because I tried, I think, 7830, And yeah, that was like 1.8, and it just like it, or was it 1 point? Something like that. I've messed around with this before, where I was like, oh, I want to just do really low cast latency at any cost, and then it's just like at some point you hit a wall with the voltage, where it's like you raise the voltage and it doesn't get better. So yeah, like I wouldn't have doubts about this being stable. Because like if the memory can do 6200 at CL24 with 1.75 volts, then it's just gonna work. And it's not that out there. Like if this was at 1.7, I'd be really surprised. But 1.75 is like, yeah, I could see that. How long will it last at that voltage? Probably for a long time, because there's like some crazy people out there who have been running 1.65 to 1.7 volts on their memory with like no, I think even like 1.75 without issues. Um, I've seriously been considering doing the 7600 CL30 setup in my daily system. Because the 7800X3D I have is a potato. So in 1-to-1 mode, it maxes out at like 6100 because potato. But I have a X670E Aorus Master, which is a pretty good memory overclocking board. So like 7600 shouldn't really be a problem. And I have a kit that I tested stable at 7600 CL30. So I could stick that in there at 1.75 volts. And then like either like, and then in like a year, if it still works, evidently not a bad idea. Which voltage to use for 6000 CL30 VDDIO? It should probably work at 1.4 on water. I don't think the water cooling the memory sticks is going to matter. Like RAM kind of falls into two camps, either very fragile or borderline indestructible. Right? Like people with like Samsung BDI with DDR4 is like I've never heard of anybody actually killing a BDI stick in a running system. Like that's just not a thing. Like all the dead BDI sticks that I've ever heard of is like handling damage, where it's like, oh, I pulled the stick out of storage and then it didn't work, or I moved the stick out of the like from one system to another and then it didn't work, which is like, yeah, probably handling damage. I've never heard of like, oh yeah, I have a BDI stick in the system, it runs at like 1.65 volts or something, and it like dies, or even at 2 volts, right? Like for benching, you run BDI at like 1.8 to 2.05, 2.1 volts and it's fine. Like now, obviously that's like DDR4, not DDR5, but like the Hynix DIMMs seem to be basically in that camp of like basically indestructible. And one thing to keep in mind is like the memory, like the internal array of the memory, like that memory VPP over here. This is a power supply for like a good chunk of the, like a good portion of the internal array of the memory chip. So the voltage tolerance of a lot of the circuitry has to be like pretty high internally. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Like obviously if, but like for someone like me, where it's like I have spare kits of memory. So it's like, yeah, I'd try that. As a sort of like science experiment. Because yeah, like from a practical perspective, like if I ran it at less voltage, it would just do CL32 or 34 instead. And I wouldn't have to like even think about it. But it would be kind of interesting to see like what happens at like 7600 CL30 at 1.75. And like this guy has an X670E godlike. So like evidently I don't think, unless he got that motherboard off of eBay or something, I don't think he's going to be like too upset if his memory kit stops working. Anyway, I did say I'd grab some more submissions before ending the stream. And so also my tab just crashed because of course it did, man. FCLK 2200? Nah, for 60, if 2200 works at 6200, I would just leave it at 2200. Um, ECCU DIMMs. Oh, at 3800. That's cool. So 5900X on a B550-F. Whoa, that's a lot of RAM. Okay, like, okay, that's impressive that you have like 64 gigs running at 3800. Oh, it's 32 gig DIMMs. Okay, that makes way more sense. Because I was like, yeah, because if this was like 4x16 or something, that would be kind of crazy. But it's 2x32, so that's less crazy. Still cool though. Timings are of course horrendous because this is using 16 gigabit memory chips. So like 20, 18, 22, 18, 54, 72. 416, 4616 on TRRDs because yeah, those generally don't suffer too much. 412 on WTRs, so those are fine. TRFC is actually not that bad. So this is probably some kind of Hynix memory because that TRFC isn't completely horrendous. SCL's at 4. This is good. Yeah, this is good timings. So that's cool. Oh, and it is a Kingston kit, so like it makes sense that it would be Hynix because like Kingston tends to be more like is usually Hynix or Micron. It's rather like it's rather rare that Kingston uses Samsung memory chips. That's not to say they don't ever use them, but it's a lot less common. Oh wait, that's the crashed one. Okay, the guy who keeps saying please BZ, like you need to post the thing you want me to look at. Like I can't like the tab keeps crashing. I can't just scroll up through chat for like the last hour to find what you posted like an hour ago. Well, repost it. I can't find it. What you just posted looks suspiciously something like I might have looked at. Or is this one that... Oh wait, no, I haven't seen this. '14th gen and DDR4. Wait, is this dual channel, but is this single rank or dual rank? Like, what is this? No, I mean I can read this, but like I don't know what memory chips this is. Which makes this really annoying. I'm assuming this is Hynix because the primary timings are horrendous. It's at 3800, which is like, yeah, if you get really unlucky with your memory controller, you'll get stuck at 3800. Hynix Team Group? Wait. Well, yeah, I don't like, the thing is, wait, so this is like, is this 32 gigs or what is this? Well, TRDs are fine. I'm not sure why your TREFI isn't higher, like 30,000, unless, like, if your memory is running really hot, that makes sense, but it's like, really? 30,000? Like, you could probably get away with 50,000. Tuned for stable video encoding. Oh, so tuned for being slow. I have fan on memory. Did I keep the XMP profile on or off? Kind of depends on the motherboard. Like, some motherboards work better when it's XMP on, and some work better with it off, but you're on an MSI board, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Like, if you already have it turned on, I would just leave it on. Yeah, if you have a fan, then like, well, not max TREFI, because on 14th gen that's like 260,000, which is probably not going to work, but like 50K shouldn't be a problem. And the thing is, I don't know what to do about the tertiaries for this, like, whatever Hynix memory chip this is. I think the tertiaries are kind of loose, but like, I don't know what I would change them to. Ooh, somebody posted something really cursed, so we're going to take a look at that, because I like cursed memory setups. Two 32 gig CJR sticks and two B-die sticks. Wait, this is dual rank. Oh. Oh, wait, no, this is quad rank. That's even worse. What board is this? Oh my god. Wait, no, this isn't 2x16. It's 2x8. Or... No. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Because, like, 16 plus 32 is 48 gigs. Like, this is 48 gigs in total. So, this can't be two 32 gig sticks and two 16 gig sticks. It's one 16 gig stick and one 32 gig stick. Why does it say 2x then? Okay, that's a lot less impressive. If this was like 96 gig, that would be impressive. But as it is, it's just like a CJR setup where one of the channels happens to have B-die on it. Oh wait, so the readout over here is just completely wrong. Okay. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Wait, so are you running like 2x8 on one channel and 2x16 on the other channel? Because that's not ideal. Because what'll end up happening is after you use 32 gigs of memory, the last like 16 gigs are going to be really slow. Like, it's still better than having to access like a page file, but it's going to be like, you're going to have you're basically going to be running single channel if you use all of the memory. For at least like part of your memory accesses are going to be single channel. The timings are actually decent though. The thing is, like, I think if you did 8 and 16 on each channel, the problem you would run into is that it would get really unstable. Because you'd have, like, CJR and BDI on sharing a channel, and they probably hate each other. Which is really annoying, because, like, yeah, from a stability perspective, you probably want the CJR on the same channel, and you want the BDI on the same channel. You don't want, BDI and CJR sharing a channel. But from a performance perspective, that would actually be better, assuming that it can run the same kind of frequency. So basically what this is a CJR setup, right? Like this isn't like this is a CJR setup where there happens to be BDI on one of the channels. Because that's what the timings are. 18, 22, like CJR primaries, CJR secondaries, CJR TRFC, SCLs. I guess, yeah, there are some like Hynix chips that don't like low SCLs. So yeah, this is a CJR setup. It's nice. I guess, yeah, this is basically just a CJR setup. But still, it's cool. Why can't I see my voltages? Because there's like, the reading of the voltages isn't properly standardized, so the software doesn't, like, not every motherboard on every BIOS is going to work correctly with how Zen Timings tries to read the voltages. Anyway. Did my tab just crash again? Nope, it didn't, unfortunately, but people are apparently very bad at reading instructions. I guess I'll do one last one. What do you mean? Copy. Dude, you still haven't figured out how to post your damn link? Like, the best part is this guy who keeps asking please, like, has a username that I can't even read. Like, it's not even like, oh, I can't try to pronounce that. Like, I actually just have no idea how to read it. We have some random generic BDI submission, which we'll do quickly because it's generic as hell. Because, like, 14, 8, 15, 14, 30, 44. Wait. Nah, this is different. Yeah, 30, 44, 4, 4, 16. This just kind of looked like a submission that I commented on earlier. 4, 8, 12, 280, 4, 4, 12, 10, 10, 4. Your dual rank timings need fixing. 5, 5, 9, 9, bad. This should be 4, 4, 6, 6. And that is all I would change. Yeah, I would not do anything else about this. Yeah, dude, how hard is it to read instructions? Don't post the full link. YouTube blocks full links. It works like this every single live stream. You can't post the full link. Just post the last part of the link so that I can copy it into my own Imgur URL, and then I can look at it. Everybody else seems to, like, well, okay, not everybody else. Almost everybody else is capable of deciphering these instructions. Still no link, though. How? How is this so hard? You literally just have to copy and paste. And we still don't have a link. Or like part of a link, because you get, again, you can't post full links because YouTube blocks them. I swear it feels like he's probably using like an English, like, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. And did the tab just crash again, or did chat die? Tab probably crashed, didn't it? Yep, tab crashed. Wait, did he figure it out? No, that's somebody else. What? What? I've already covered this earlier. Oh, wait. Oh, it was like blocking? Oh, I got it, finally. Oh, I figured it out. The issue is like the top chat, live chat thing. Man, YouTube. Why are you like this? I mean, I understand what the point of top chat is that, like, to, like, deal with spammers, but, like, this is, like, if I could, like, have, like, 3 chats where, like, one is submission queue, one is super chat queue, and one is general that I get to ignore, then this would be fine. Anyway. And of course, he submits the most generic Hynix timings I've ever seen. Max temp depends on your refresh interval. Since you're at 65,000, I probably wouldn't want this running above 50 degrees. Yeah, this will probably crash above like 55 degrees Celsius because of the refresh interval. And then like this is like the same timings that like everybody else freaking uses. Like I actually don't understand how these live streams function. Also, I forgot to take this off. Like I actually like I will not understand why people submit to these live streams, because it's like it's just, I mean, I appreciate it. You know, like gotta fund the motherboards I don't get sent somehow, but like like this is just 6420. That's like, isn't this basically the timings I've shown in a recent video? Except on single rank instead of dual rank? Yeah, I know spammer. No, the issue is like I want people, like, because I don't have like a way to have the 3 different chat queues. And so like if people show up and I don't get to their submission because like super chats mess up the submission order, then like people reposting their submission is like totally cool with me, but it's not cool with like with the YouTube chat system. So then we end up in situation like this. So, yeah. Look, I don't like making videos or live streams. I like testing like I like messing with hardware, not even RAM. Um, so this is the imperfect solution that I came up with, and we will all suffer together. Yeah, YT definitely thinks it's spam. Given your reputation, you'd get sample. I don't get views though. And also I don't like talking to people. Isn't the only temp readout on the PMIC? Yeah, but it's close enough that it'll give you vaguely the rough idea of what temperature the memory chips are at. Or more like, if your PMIC is at 60 degrees, your memory chips are too hot. Any opinion on CU DIMMs? I don't have any, so like, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Like, I am kinda hoping that Arrow Lake is a massive flop, so I don't have to spend any money on it. Cause like, yeah. Um, I mean, if it wasn't like if it was really really good, then I wouldn't mind spending money on it, but like if it's mediocre, then it's like, man, it's like not bad enough that I can ignore it, but just bad enough that it kind of like I don't want to spend money on it. That would be the worst. So it's like please either be amazing or be a massive flop. Not both. Like not in between. I can't take it. When you think a brand new Vega 64 Strix OC for €70 is a good deal? Uh, for what? For like messing around with? Sure. For like using? Not really. Because like Vega driver support is like not great as far as I know at this point. Fine. I'll wait. Didn't I already look at this 7600X setup? Why is this getting posted again? What? Oh, it's different. It's temperatures now. You're at 35 degrees. Wait, so like what is this okay? Why wouldn't it be? Your temperatures are fine. Your voltages are like I don't like depending on what timings you're well, I mean as long as you're not trying to run crazy low cast latency, this is fine. Man, tech length if oh no. Is this IDA testing? So we have TFAW and TRD, and we have bandwidth from, I'm assuming, IDA. And we have 8 at 5361, 5353. And 16 is at 50346. Intel memory latency checker. It's within 0.1% margin run to run. The difference between your 8, which is supposedly the best, and your 16 is literally not even 0.1%. It is 0.03% difference. I don't know how that constitutes a significant result at all. Also, I'm guessing the last column is... Oh, wait, no, that's the TRRD timing. Like, even if we take... Okay, so if we take the absolute worst result, right, which is like the 12 and the 4, versus the best, which is the 8 and the 3. Shut up, Edge. So that's 5361 divided by 5317. That's what, like a tenth of a percent? Wait, okay, so that's just about a 1/10 of a percent. Amazing. 25 runs total. See, I would consider this significant if you did like 1,000 runs. Because we're literally talking about a 1/10 of a percentage point performance difference. Right? A literal 1/10 of a percentage point. Also, I'm not a fan of this being a synthetic test. Though this isn't the first time I've seen the like supposedly like TRD3 helping thing. But the issue is like these results are just like this one's just randomly low. And then you have like this one's worse than the... Well, I guess 16, okay, but... You know, but that doesn't make any sense, that this would be faster than this. Because, like, if this is faster than this, then this would have to also be faster than this, which it isn't. So, like... So this to me just looks like they're so close together that I think if you just kept running these forever, it would converge towards all of them being the same thing at some point. And even then, like, the difference is so small that I just wouldn't care. Each is an average of 5 runs. Yeah, but, like, the thing is, like, the differences are so small that, like, you need to run more runs. Like, the less difference you have between your end results, the more runs you need to do in order to, like, go, like, oh, yeah, this is definitely actually a real difference. Because, like, these results are within, like, a 0.1% of each other. And I don't know how much, like... And you said your run-to-run variance is 0.1%, which is like, well... So it sounds like if you just get 5 lucky runs in a row, you get a better result. right? And I'm assuming like you have to reboot the system every time you do a run, every time you're doing this. So like the OS is going to be in a slightly different condition every time. So unless you're running this in like basically I would trust this if you had like direct control over the memory controller, which you don't. Yeah, with less than a 0.1% difference between results, like you need to just run an absurd amount of tests to like prove that it's actually doing anything. Can you desolder the two useless DIMM slots on a 4-DIMM board for any gains? I tried that. It didn't really achieve anything. So I think not is the answer to that question. Oh wait, you guys can't see the results I'm complaining about. There. Right? Five, like it's not even 5. It's 50, 361. And then the best one, like the worst one there is like 5317. Literally, like here's the 1% mark. Here's the 0.1% mark. This is 0.09%. This is like it's not even 0.1% difference between the very worst result in this table and the very best one. And if this is a 5-run average for each of these, it's like, okay, so you got 5 lucky runs on this one. Like this one got 5 lucky runs, and this one got screwed like 3 times. And that's why it's lower. Like actually it could get screwed twice and it would probably end up lower. So like, yeah, this is the kind of thing where you just like, honestly, I would just not bother testing this because the difference between the best one and the worst one are so small that like, this isn't like this isn't relevant as far as I'm concerned. 5 lucky runs on all of them, or you could get 1 really lucky run or something. Like this is so small. Isn't removing what the nitro path? No, that doesn't. That's still not as good as a 1 DIMM per channel. It's like nitro path is basically trying to fix the fact that 4 DIMM motherboards suck, which is like, and the kind of worrying thing is like, so Hardware Unboxed did a bunch of motherboard testing where see, I've been thinking, like, I've kind of thought about maybe doing, like, a dedicated video just discussing their results, because they just kind of gloss over it, but I found it quite interesting, their results. But I, like, it feels weird to, like, I asked Steve if it would be okay, and he said yes, but, like, it still feels weird to just be like, look, here's somebody else's testing, and I'm just going to talk about what they ended up with, which, admittedly, we're going to do that now as, like, bonus content for the stream. But, so, as you can see, well, this isn't, man, the chart doesn't even fit properly. This is so annoying. I want the bar to go away. But anyway, so basically what I find really interesting here, so they have like the Crosshair Hero right at the very top at 8300. I've really not had a good time with my Hero board. So that's one thing. They have the Aorus Master up at 8200. I don't have a Master, so I don't know how that compares. Now, all of the MSI boards ended up at 8100. Also, they're running Prime 95 large FFTs for validation here. And they're running it for an hour. So one potential issue is like if you have a motherboard that has an error rate of like once every 4 hours, it's just not gonna show up in an hour-long test potentially. So that's like a concern with this testing, but like at least an hour is like it's something. And Prime 95 large FFTs is a valid option as far as memory stress testing goes. I would still also include something like Harhu, but like they're testing 21 motherboards. Like this, not practical. So anyway, like it takes me like several days to get like one memory overclock validated on one board. So like just doing this is already like okay, and they have like a whole bunch of other testing. So um anyway, but yeah, so they have like Heroes at 8300, but the Strix X870E-E, which as far as I know is the exact same memory topology, that's at 8000. Right? That board also has like Nitro Path on it. Then if you look at the QVL for the ITX Strix, that actually has a higher QVL than the Hero, but on this chart it's at 8000, right? Then you have like the Asus Prime X870-P, which is like a low-end Asus board. That's at 8000. But then you have like the Asus TUF X870 Plus, and that's at 7400. Even though the Prime-P is like a worse board than the TUF, or at least like on paper it should be. And it's going to use the same memory topology because Asus isn't going to spend money redesigning the memory topology for, their boards a bunch. So how is it that like the TUF is all the way down here? And it's like, okay, so you could have variables like socket mounting pressure, memory slot mounting pressure, and then also like PCB manufacturing tolerances. And so the thing that I've been kind of wondering about with X870 motherboards is like, are they just like random? Right? So it's like, and when you, and oh, I like the original thought that led to this was the whole nitro path thing. So it's like, so you have one nitro path board at the very, very top of the chart, right? And then you have the other nitro path board getting wrecked by a bunch of MSI boards that, as far as I can tell, aren't really doing anything special. At least not on like the memory slot end, or like they're not back drilling the vias. I have a Tomahawk, it's not back drilled. It like you can't see what they're doing. So like internally, MSI might have like a vastly different memory trace layout than what Asus has. They almost certainly do. They could have better BIOS tuning, but that's like, so the thing is like, so you have like this one nitro path board at the very top, then you have this other nitro path board that's kind of getting like isn't really doing that great. Then you have my Hero, which I'm not very impressed by it. And it's just like, and then you have the fact that like you have Asus boards which definitely have the same memory topology at like completely different ends of the table. And it's like, I wonder if it's just a like if you like I wonder if you get more like a better result binning motherboards than you do actually worrying about something like NitroPath. Like if you just buy a bunch of like, I don't know, like ITX boards and then just use the best one, you might be better off than buying a single Hero. And actually, you could probably buy two of the Asus ITX boards for the like. Okay, not quite. They're like $450 if I remember correctly. 8 layers on the MSI. Yeah, but the Asus boards are also going to be 8 layers. Bro, Aorus Ice vs not Ice is like 600, but that's the same topology. It's the same. It's even the same layer count. So I really think, like I have heard that like the PCB mask can affect signal quality, but like Asus has a white Apex and Gigabyte is making a white Tachyon for Z890. So I think they've got the white PCB masks figured out at this point. Because it would be really, really stupid if all the whiteboards were like getting nerfed by this PCB solder mask. Right? Like that would just be the dumbest thing ever if it would turn out that, oh yeah, you use a white solder mask and your memory like your memory performance goes to hell. So yeah, like this is one thing I'm wondering about is like, are the motherboards just really RNG now for 2-to-1 mode? Because this is just all over the place. Like the MSI boards are all weirdly clustered together. So I don't know. Like I actually left a comment under this video if like MSI has an extra validation step, which like, the main thing I'm wondering is, like, is my Tomahawk just going to also end up doing, like, 8100? In which case, I'd start getting more suspicious that maybe there is extra validation. Because, yeah. Though MSI claims support for, like, 8400 plus, so, yeah, I don't know, like, this is a thing I'm wondering about now with, like, AM5, because, like, yeah, and there's not really any way to test it. At least, like, unless you're, like, a motherboard manufacturer, but you're not going to tell people, hey, we took, like, 10 random boards off the manufacturing line, and, like, one of them does 8400, 5 of them do, like, 2 of them do 8200, 5 do, like, 8100, 2 of them do 8000, and 1 of them does 7800, right? Like, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna tell anybody that, oh yeah, the boards are like plus minus 200, 300 mega transfers per second. MSI cherry pick the boards. That's also possible. Yeah, that's also a possibility. The ASRock boards seem to just hate Steve's memory kit. Maybe bad revision like Apex. No, I think this is random. So, yeah, like, now I'm really wondering, because, like, I want to, like, I'm going to buy an ASRock X870 Tai Chi Lite. And I'm really wondering, like, is it also going to get stuck at 7400? Because, like, that getting stuck at 7400, that sounds like my B650 live mixer. That's exactly what it does. Is, like, it does 7400 easy, and, like, you can coax it into 7600, but not if you're just going to use, like, Expo or something. Like, that's not going to work. Is he testing one memory kit? Yeah. Because, like, it would be kind of ridiculous to test multiple different memory kits. Also, that memory kit, I think, is on the QVL for every single one of these boards. Yeah, I think it's 8i. I don't know. I think it's a 16 gig. It's an 8000 CL38 Expo kit from G-Skill, which was part of the review kit for Ryzen, as far as I know. Lottery with motherboard, lottery with CPU, and lottery with memory sticks. Hynix memory sticks seem to be really consistent. If motherboards and CPUs were as consistent as Hynix memory sticks on the frequency side of things, I think the different brand of memory will show different results. Maybe? I don't know. I've not... Like, the thing is, the one brand of memory that I haven't tried is Team Group, and I keep hearing from people, oh, I also haven't tried Patriot DDR5, but that will hopefully change this week, because I ordered a Patriot Viper, I ordered this. I ordered it twice because the first time Amazon screwed up the delivery. I was just like, man. Like, for so long, I've had, like, a no Amazon policy. Like, I would just not buy things, especially electronics, from Amazon to the best of my ability. And then it's like, man, but this memory kit, it's so cheap. And you can't get it anywhere else. Because, like this exists, but this is, like, 116 gig stick. Also, it's, like, I've never heard of this place. Also, that's, yeah. So, you know, it's like, it's so cheap. I don't have a choice. It'll be, like, interesting. You know, from a content perspective, is like, I bought the cheapest DDR5 8000 kit. Let's see how bad it is. Or good it is. I don't know. So, yeah, I haven't tried Patriot, and I haven't tried Team Group. Because, like, this is just, like, it's just expensive, man. And it's RAM. Like, it's freaking RAM. RAM is so boring. Like, it's like my main issue with it is, like, I don't like buying RAM. I like buying motherboards and GPUs. Not freaking RAM. So, yeah. And, well, I guess for 7600, I could just ask Team Group to send a sample. But the thing is, when you ask for a sample, then it's like, oh, now I have obligations to make videos and yeah, so anyway, so we'll see if that Patriot kit does anything for me. I kind of doubt it because it's a die. I expect it to like really not work because I have an 8000 rated M die kit that's like a pain, and so this is like an 8000 rated A die kit. Like this is just a bad idea as far as I'm concerned. This is going to be so extremely stable. I'll be impressed if it manages to get through memory training. Actually, I won't be. Getting through memory training is not that hard, unfortunately. And I can't seem to run 6200. What SoC voltage are you using? Send you some X3D thingies. Yeah, I'm trying to do something about the AMD sampling situation. We'll see if that goes. Like, we'll see how that goes. The thing is, like, I just hate like I just like sending emails and asking for things, and then it's like, and the other issue is like my channel doesn't get that many views, so it's like, why should anybody send me anything? It's like, you want to sell products, just send them to like LTT or someone. Actually, probably send them to LTT because they'll just do a short circuit unboxing, which is basically an advertisement, and that'll be the end of that. I don't think everybody looks for me for memory OC stuff. New CU DIMMs interest you at all? It's like... So my issue with CU DIMM is that I do not understand how fiddling with the clock signal is supposed to fix what look like read and write errors that only happen under load. Right? Like, and maybe this is because I don't understand how, I don't actually know why those errors happen, right? Like, that's the really annoying thing with like memory stress testing is like you get errors, but you have absolutely no way of checking, is it an alignment issue? Is the voltage too low? Is there too much reflection? Is there too much, like, no idea. It's like, there's an error. There's an error. Why? Who knows? And so the thing to me, though, is like, if you had a clock signal problem, like a major clock signal problem, it wouldn't be able to post, right? Because, like, for memory training, you need to be able to, like, send a clock to the memory chips and get a response back from them. But for stress testing, like, it doesn't make sense to me that running Y-Cruncher would, like, misalign the clock signal. That doesn't make sense. Why would the clock drift based on how much load is on the memory controller? Like, if your memory controller can't maintain a clock signal because it's sending too many read commands, doesn't your memory controller kind of suck? So, and then the other thing is like, if you look at the Ryzen APUs, those can do crazy high memory speeds without CU DIMM because they just have a better memory controller. So I'm really kind of wondering if, like, CU DIMM is like a JDEC thing for reasons, and then most of the uplift with Arrow Lake is just like, yeah, the memory controller's new. Like, it's a brand new memory controller. It's just better. And CUDIMM has nothing to do with the extra clock speed. What will be sweet spot for 9800X3D? Exactly the same as 9000 series, because it's the same I/O die. What? But you don't get, like, it doesn't fix voltage drop. It literally, like, this clock, the CU DIMMs, literally just take the clock signal from the memory controller, and then they re-drive it. Right? So, basically, the only problem this is solving is if the clock signal is weak at the end of the memory stick. But if the clock signal is that weak, how are you getting through memory training? How is it even able to get into Windows if some of your memory chips aren't getting a clean enough clock signal? Right? Like, that's the thing I don't get about it. Is like, how is this, like, I could see it helping for multi-rank, because, like, if you're running multiple memory ranks, like, it's putting a lot more strain, but that's putting a lot more stress on everything. It's putting, like, it's loading the entire CAD bus significantly more. So, like, why don't you just use registered DIMMs at that point? You know, just redrive the entire command address bus. Why only the clock signal? What, like... No, it definitely doesn't work like the interleaved memory sticks. Do you think I don't know. Like Gear 4, I don't know. Source of interference, but no, cuz like that would be a motherboard problem. Like, if your motherboard runs the clock line over the data line and then you have, like, clock signal getting in, like, you have clock signal mixed into your data queue, then, like, yeah, okay. But how is redriving the clock at the memory? Like, basically, my issue with the whole idea of CUDIMM is, like, to me, it looks like you have trouble measuring the voltage levels. Like, it's just not, like, this seems like a data problem, not an alignment problem. Because the clock is just for, like, getting the data aligned. And the funny thing is, it doesn't even get used for aligning the data, because the data gets aligned to the data queue strobe, which is its, like, basically its own clock signal that is sent to every single memory chip individually by the memory controller. So this is a clock signal that's literally only used for aligning the command address bus. And it's just like, why? Like, I do not understand. Like, I don't have access to a JDEC documentation for CUDIMMs, but if you look at DDR5 SDRAM, so I'm just going to pull up the data sheet. Are you kidding me? Man, I didn't want to search for DQS because I thought it would just be what? Oh my god, it's so slow. Oh no. Yeah, see, this is why I didn't want to search for DQS, because it's just freaking everywhere. Do we have a pinout? No, let's reset. Read. Please work. What? How do we not have a read-to-read command? Oh, you... Edge, why are you like this? Oh, it's just not loading the... I wonder if it's because I have the PDF open in two different... Oh, now it works. Lovely. And it's not. Oh, there we go. So, yeah. So you'll notice you have like clock, right? So you have CKC and CKT. And this is the only thing that the clock redriver deals with. That's the only thing CU DIMMs do. Now, for the actual data alignment, you use DQS, which is its own clock signal. And the reason you have DQS is because every single memory chip on the memory stick gets the clock signal slightly later. So if you try to align the data according to the CK, it like comes from the memory chips at the wrong, like it doesn't line up at the memory controller, right? Because if we have our memory stick and our CPU, right, then on our memory stick we have like memory chips. Oh man, why did I draw the memory stick like that? That's awful. Big memory stick. Okay, well that's worse. But like memory chip, memory chip, memory chip, memory chip, right? And then you have your memory controller. I'm drawing like half the memory channels that you have on a DDR5 stick. We're not... Technically, there's 8 more chips on the bottom end, but we're just not going to worry about those. So, CK comes in like this and then hits all of the memory chips. So the problem you have is that the clock over here and here is at different times. And here it's slightly different. And it's also different here, and it's different here. Like, basically, this memory chip is like a few fractions of a nanosecond. So like picoseconds, right? So this memory chip is a few picoseconds behind this one. And this memory chip is a few picoseconds behind the memory controller. So like, you can't use that for data alignment at all. So the solution to that is that you have DQS. And DQS is basically the memory chip takes the clock signal and it sends down its own clock signal that the memory controller then uses for latching the data. Right? So if you're reading data from the memory chip sends a clock that is aligned to the data that it's sending. And the other way around, the memory controller sends a clock signal that's aligned to the data that it's sending. And the CK is basically just used for commands. So like those like single errors that you get when running a memory stress test, I do not understand how those are going to get solved by redriving the clock signal. Just because I'm pretty sure DQS is redriven by the memory chip. Oh no, Edge is being stupid again. Okay, yeah, so the search function is just like very broken. Lovely. Now I could be misunderstanding about something about how this works, but like there's like DQS is it's like basically its own clock that's used just for data. Um and the clock signal itself is just used for the commands and like addresses being encoded. Um so yeah. So I don't know, maybe CU DIMMs help a lot, but like I've also heard that you can do like DDR5 9000 on UDIMMs with Arrow Lake, and you can definitely do DDR5 9000 on APUs. So like I don't I don't understand what the CU DIMMs are supposed to be fixing. Cuz like admittedly I don't have an oscilloscope, so I can't just like, you know, poke a memory stick. Or I do have an oscilloscope, but not one that is worthy of measuring DDR5 at all. Um so like I don't know, maybe like you get like the clock on the last memory chip is like terrible or something. Um But I don't think it's like the CKD even like rematches. Like, I think it literally just takes the clock signal and redrives it. Like, to me, this seems like something that would fix, like, not even fix, but like help multi rank and do absolutely nothing for single rank. Um, but yeah, I don't know. What? Ask for one? No. Like, there are very, very few people out there who have access to an oscilloscope that can measure DDR5. Very, very few people. Those are that like that's like Micron has probably a few of those. Hynix will have a few of those. Um, like I'm not even sure that like G Skill would necessarily have those, because like oscilloscopes that can measure DDR5 signals are hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're the kind of equipment where you don't even like even companies don't buy oscilloscopes like that. They rent them because they're so wildly expensive. Um, what 10K oscilloscope? No, hundreds of thousands of dollars oscilloscopes. Like, let me pull up. Keysight makes oscilloscopes like that. They actually have a video on their YouTube channel showing the probing of DDR5 with one of their oscilloscopes, and like the setup for it is intense. Um, and the oscilloscope is like it's big because it's like it's many gigahertz. Let's just put it that way. Um, with like custom like germanium semiconductor front end stuff. Um, I can't find it right now. Oh, well, I mean, I did find a PDF of. Yeah, so we're talking about an oscilloscope that looks like that. Um, oh yeah, and so Infinium series, and you need like a 16 gigahertz minimum bandwidth. So, oh, there we go. We have a model number for the equipment. Are you kidding me? Like, they're not gonna even have a price for this thing on their website because, like, you're not buying one. Get quote. But yeah, this can measure DDR5. Oh yeah, and you can upgrade it to 110 gigahertz. But that's for like radar and stuff at that point. Yeah. So this is the kind of oscilloscope that you need for DDR5 testing. Oh wait, no, this is just a PDF for it. So, yeah, so it's like buy or rent options for stuff like this. Man, but like one of my like dreams would be to make a video where you're like actually like messing with things like drive strengths and terminations and like VDDQ voltage and VDDIO voltage and have when you like with one of these oscilloscopes hooked up. That would just be the coolest thing ever because you could directly see what is happening to the signal as you change your drive strengths, your terminations, your voltages. And that would be so cool and so utterly useless because it would be completely irrelevant on literally any other memory stick on any other motherboard. Like, you don't even really see oscilloscopes like this at the... Actually, no, I think the motherboard manufacturers might have, like, one per build, like one of these. Maybe. You could measure... Yeah, like, I thought about, like, doing, like, DDR1, but the thing is, like... I wonder, like, I wonder if even that you would, like, if that would see as significant changes in behavior. No, it's slow. You could run DDR3. I think it goes down to like 400 megahertz pretty easily for DDR3. Like DDR2 would just about fit within the... I could I could probably just about squeeze DDR2 into the bandwidth of my oscilloscope because the thing is when you have like 100 megahertz bandwidth oscilloscope, it doesn't mean that you can't measure something above 200 megahertz. It's just that, or like above 100 megahertz, it's just that it's not going to look correct. It's going to be all kind of like attenuated. So, you know, like, so if there's any like reflections that are like really fast spikes, yeah, they're probably going to not be as spiky as they're supposed to be. Update video with a 14900 Master X new microcode. Yeah, eventually I have like other testing to do. I am not very productive and also limited by resources. But yeah, like this is one of those things like if that like I'd love to have a chance to make a video with one of these. Because like Keysight made a video showing one of these hooked up to a live DDR5 motherboard, and like measuring real DDR5 signals, but they didn't show anything like, oh, here's what happens if you change the terminations or anything like that. Because, yeah, that was just like not really within the scope of the video, but that is something that I'd absolutely love to freaking do. Is just like, because it's so annoying, like sitting there running memory tests and like trying to change resistances and going off of like, well, it seems more stable this time. It's like instead of just being able to just measure, is the resistance wrong or right? Um, you have a day job? No, I do YouTube full time. Um, I am like the issue with like like I literally, well, it's mostly a space problem because like right now I'm running a memory stress test, right? There is really not practically enough space for me to work on another video at the same time. At least not one that requires a running system. Um, I don't think this. I think this is outside the budget of even. Um, this is going to be outside the budget even of like LTT. Yeah, like just absolutely not no information about how much it costs. Um, well, that's not working. Anyway, that's just like I don't know. Maybe if like some maybe someday I'll get invited to like the Micron factory, or in I guess Intel would have one of these as well. Um, yeah, they'd probably like in yeah, they definitely have to have one of these because you can't design memory controllers without something like this. Like you just can't because like it's one thing to try like guess and test your way to like stability. It's another thing where it's like I don't like you design a memory controller and then it's like so why can't it initialize the RAM? Um what? No, Intel will definitely have one of these. Like Intel also makes like Wi-Fi stuff. So even for like this is the kind of thing you'd use for that as well. Um so yeah, this is like if I got invited to make a video with one of these hooked up to a memory system, that is definitely something I would like fly out for no matter what. Um um they didn't use it for V225. No, I don't think that's like they didn't use it. That's just like making stuff is hard. Um so what 207. Yeah, that sounds about right for the lower spec model of that scope. Um, but yeah, anyway, um, that'll be it for this stream. Man, that went way over time. 3 hours. Hopefully my stupid DDR5 8000 setup doesn't crash again. Um, man, that's been so annoying. Just like getting into work. When's the next stream? Probably next Monday. Um, Yeah, like the idea is the RAM timing streams are every Monday. Well, ideally they would be every Monday. I mean, it's not really a technical discussion. It's more like technical rambling and speculation. Because again, like I don't know what the CKD actually does. And the other thing that makes me wonder about the CKD is there's a video on the Intel YouTube channel with somebody from Intel talking about how if you're going above certain memory speeds, you might actually put the CKD in bypass mode, which is just like, so why is it even there? Because like that's not impossible. Like you could theoretically, like like it's not technically impossible that the memory controller could be capable of higher clocks than the redriver. How much does this cost? I don't know. They won't tell you. This is so expensive, they won't even tell you how much it costs. I think at a minimum, this I think starts at like $200,000, and then depending on what options you get, it gets more and more expensive. Nah, servers have registered DIMMs. Like the funny thing is, CU DIMM is basically a registered DIMM with most of the register removed. Why is that so much? Because there's a teardown video on YouTube of one of these. This is like peak bespoke electronics engineering. It costs $278,000. Ah, cool. That's the 16 gigahertz version, right? Yeah, EEV blog had one. Signal Path did a teardown of one of these. Or just the front end? Signal Path had some like really in-depth content on one of the UXR series scopes. But yeah, so this is the also I think that for the DDR5 thing, that's like the bare minimum is the 16 gigahertz option. How can you live without one? I wouldn't even have anywhere to put this if I had one of these. CKD is powered by VDD, right? Is it? I don't know. Like I've not really been paying much attention to Arrow. Like I mostly want to get like AM5 stuff done-ish so that when X3D comes out, I'm not or still testing like X870. Nah, it's not that big. Like it's big, but it's not so big I'd need another house, but like see, I don't think you'd be at much risk of anybody stealing this thing. It looks like an old TV. Like, this cost as much as a car, like a really nice car, and I think your really nice car would be more of a security risk than one of these. Is there one in AMD? AMD definitely has one of these. It might have showed up in the GN Gamers Nexus tour. Car has GPS and it's big. Yeah, but it also sits on the street. And isn't like exactly complicated to figure out what it is. Well, CU DIMMs, I don't know. Like, I just straight up don't know anything about CU DIMM. I don't get told anything. Except like power stage names, which annoy, or actually not even necessarily that if it's ASUS. Like, they won't even tell you what power stages they use, because why would they? It's just like they're totally 110 amps. Definitely 110 amps. Yeah, that's the other reason I brought up a car being more likely to get stolen than this thing. Because, like, cars get stolen all the time. But, like, to steal an oscilloscope, like, you'd have to know what it is. And, like, what are you gonna, like, who are you gonna sell it to? Right? Like, this isn't exactly something you just, like, what? Anyway, I'll end the stream here. And there might be, I mean, if the memory kit shows up, well, actually, it's not even if the memory kit shows up. The main issue right now is if the Strix crashes again. I don't know. Am I going to move on or not? I mean, I guess probably yes, because this is too much of a time sink. So there might be a stream with like the X870 Tomahawk sometime this week. And that might include the new Patriot kit. How about order? No. What would I even use them with? AM5? Like, I'm really surprised that CU DIMM gets so much attention when, like, as far as I can tell, the only thing it's going to be compatible with is Intel's floppiest CPU since 11th gen. Like, it's like HBM getting all the attention on AMD's incredibly mediocre GPUs. It's like, yeah, it's totally the memory's fault that the GPU sucks. Yeah, the thing is, AM5 doesn't even support CU DIMM currently. And also, I would consider the AM5 APUs to be kind of not great CPUs. What's the best RAM? I don't know. I don't test like a ton of RAM. I haven't tested the 0112B update yet. Like, I've literally been like testing memory for the last several days because X870 launched. Like, fastest APUs of all time aren't great. What? Well, they aren't. Like, they're just like they're literally just worse than a 7800X3D at like everything, except maybe Cinebench. What do you think of Asus Nitro Path? I am not very impressed by it so far. But like basically it feels like Asus caught up to where Gigabyte was like a year ago. So actually more like caught up to where Gigabyte was at X670 launch. But I don't know, maybe my board is just exceptionally bad or my CPU is exceptionally bad or maybe I'm just holding it wrong. The iGPU is what you buy an APU for. Yeah, I know, but like the iGPUs aren't even cost effective. The 8700G is like $300. Like, it's really expensive and really slow for what it is. What do you recommend for gaming? Probably the 9800X 3D when it launches. $8600G, but the 8600G has less iGPU in it. Like, if you care about gaming performance, you're better off buying like a 5600 and a real GPU instead of an iGPU of any kind. Yeah, but even the crappy iGPU, well, I guess a 5600 doesn't have an iGPU. Actually, a 5600 is kind of dumb. Probably buy like a low-end Intel CPU for ITX builds. Yeah, well, I don't really care for those. Anyway, I will actually press the stop button now because yeah, this isn't going anywhere. um so yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the super chats and goodbye.